TOA community, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Robert Linkul, trainingtheolderadult.com. Welcome to Wednesdays with Robert. This is episode number 15. We are diving into all kinds of good stuff today. I have the best community of people out there that love to send me different articles to review. So this is an article that I want to review to start us off on what the average age via every 10-year bracket decade group, if you want to call them that, what every decade group should be doing for recreation and sport. Do you think I'm going to agree with all this? Number one out of the gate. But it's interesting. It's worth talking about. And then after that, I'm going to show you like 4 pretty recent new, like within the last 2 to 3 months, research articles that are pretty specific towards the stimulus of exercise, specifically resistance training, but exercise generally speaking, and the value not only to the body but to the brain, and how important a high level of fitness is to a properly operating, cognitively stimulated brain, and maintaining that healthy brain as we age. I think more now than ever we have a lot of research to support that and really drive it home with people and how to deliver that message. So lots of good stuff to cover as we go through today. As always, please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. Make sure you don't miss any of the content that we put up. And by all means, check out any of our other videos. And if you see anything that looks of interest to anyone that you might know or whatnot, send them the video. Share with them, please. Help us grow our community. We really appreciate it. All right, here we go. Let's dive in. So here's the article. It's in The Guardian, which I feel like I may be wrong on this, but I think The Guardian is like a protected website. There's a paywall you have to get through. So I don't really know how I got this one. I'm wondering if maybe I got one of their free ones they put out or whatnot, or whoever sent it to me. I'm not gonna say the name, but whoever sent it to me, maybe they paid for it, or I don't know. So anyhow, I appreciate it that we got in here. Run at 40, dance at 80, the best ways to exercise in every decade of your life. Never a fan of the words the best, okay? We tell our kids this all the time. Our kids say, I've got a better idea. And I say, is it a better idea or is it just a different idea? Because we could debate on that, right? So somebody's going to go, well, you're 60. Here's the best way that you should be exercising. I'm pretty sure I'm going to disagree. Anyhow, let's get into this. Tennis, running, weights, yoga, all exercise is good, but certain sports have more of an impact at a particular age. Here's what you should be doing and when. All right. Kate Carter, let's see what you got. Okay, the first one out of the gate here, she talks a little bit about setting goals and establishing expectations, what you can do in your 20s and how that's kind of your 20 to 30s, like your elite level of being capable, okay? So in your 20s, they're suggesting that cardio tennis is the thing. It's a influx of, or cross between, there you go, tennis and squash. That high intensity interval training, HIIT classes down there are always really good. But because you're in your 20s, moving into your 30s, you can definitely run, change direction, plyometrics, do all these different, dynamic movement patterns and more. Let's just call it like demandingly athletic movements and sports at this younger age, because number one, your body is probably more capable and able at this younger, more nimble version of you, and your strongest version of you, ideally, right? 20s to 30s, kind of where we hit our peak for muscle mass, but also for bone density, okay, naturally. And then beyond that, it all starts to kind of taper down. 30, 35, we start going down. And then if you intervene with any kind of hormonal replacements or fluctuation, things can change for sure. I am living proof of that. I'm 43, almost 44, and I'm in better shape now. And I have the most density to my body, and I have the best bone density, and I have probably the highest testosterone level I've ever had in my life. Not knowing that my tumor on my thyroid was messing with so much and so many things going through, my earlier years. This is definitely the best version physically of me, okay? Now, this is at a later stage. A lot of people, it's going to be their 30s. It might be their 20s, okay? You just don't know, okay? But on average, typically, this is going to be kind of a thriving time to be pretty dynamic. And apparently, cardio tennis is the way to go. Okay, into your 30s, you're getting online, okay? The average age for UK first-time mothers, now about 31 and 33 for dads, juggling children, work, life, everything else. They're transitioning to online training because it's more efficient for their life. I totally see this. I get this. What I like about it is they didn't say online training for yoga or just weights or like just one thing. They just said online training. Basically looking at it and going, you're establishing, starting a family. Your career is probably, in full demand mode. You're working on improving your relationships, maintaining relationships, friendships, personal spouse, all that stuff. A lot of options, a lot of things getting pulled in many directions. How is a efficient, I don't want to say quick or easy, but I want to say an efficient way to get my exercise in, transitioning to some online options are definitely there, okay? And especially in the last 3 to 4 years, online is, a fantastic option for a lot of people. Now, they talk about reducing stress, depression, anxiety, all that. That's all exercise, but particularly in this age bracket, the demands of life are so high. This is where people will start having their midlife crisis. Usually you're thinking, well, isn't that around 50? When you start having kids, all this kind of stuff, like you start questioning all kinds of things in your life. Did I make the right decisions and all of this kind of stuff? People they go panicked and they start to freak out. They have all kinds of stuff that happens. And you got to settle down and hey, this is where I am and what's the best thing I can do right now to help my body be healthy, be strong. If an online option is that, and it allows me to balance all the other things, my kids' sports schedules and everything else we got going on in life, then go for it. There's tons of options. Yoga, meditation, strength training, HERT training, high intensity, etc. There are even groups out there that virtually go on rucks and walks together, either a treadmill or you can go outside and walk, but you're virtually connected, right, to your group of people. So you still have a social component that's connected to it. That's pretty cool as well. All right, 40s, 50s. I don't know where the 40 picture went. Maybe I screwed up the order. I don't think so. Okay, 40, 50s, somewhere in there. Low impact activities such as cycling and swimming. Okay, while they have benefits, weight bearing activities are crucial because as we age, muscle mass declines, and with it goes our strength and eventually a bit of our performance in basic tasks. Weightlifting may be seen to preserve securely buff, but you don't need to lift big numbers to feel the benefits, and you don't have to be strong already. The goal is not the starting point. That's the goal, not the starting point. Oh, got it. Sorry, not my best reading in that. Point being here is, if you haven't lifted weights in the 50s, late 40s, early 50s, now's the time, okay? Because you got to get this thing established and get your body going like, oh, I'm decreasing bone density. I'm decreasing muscle mass. I have got to, as they're saying here, like I got to do something because I'm on this decline. And this is probably the time. I mean, it happened around 30, 35. You're making that curve going down, but late 40s, 50s, it's hitting you full swing, okay? You've definitely got to start introducing resistance to your life in your late 40s, early 50s, if you haven't been doing it already. I think you should have it from the beginning. I've been lifting weights since 13. Nonstop since 13. I've definitely had times in my life where I did a hell of a lot more than I did at other times, but I have always included resistance training on a weekly basis at some point in my entire life since 13, okay? It's such a vitally important component to what you do. Now, let's just say for example, there is an individual out there who right around 30 started to have a lot of health issues. And between 27 and 30, right around there. And from 27 until 37, basically couldn't exercise more than 1 or 2 days a week, okay? And that exercise was not great. It was 20 minutes, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, pretty inconsistent, but still did a little bit. Let's just say that person exists, okay? Can that individual, within a year or two, reprogram their bodies and build back to where they were prior to that, or to a good version of what they are now, depending on whatever the years are in your life? My point is if you take off like 5 to 10 years, okay, and then you recommit yourself, it could take you as little as 6 months, depending on how dedicated you are, to get yourself back into good shape, quote unquote, right? Get rid of your belly, get some more muscles, get your bones dense, get your body mass up, right? Get your muscle mass up, improve your sleep, improve your hydration, improve your nutrition you're bringing in. All that ultimately improves your cognition, your processing, your brain, all that, okay? There's great value to the entire body by simply saying, hey, for the next 6 months, I'm going to fully commit my body here. You can, probably all the way up into your 50s, turn back the hands of time and get yourself back to a pretty damn high level, if not better, depending on how hard you work, okay? So that's the beautiful thing about fitness, is it's never too late, ever. It's, well, I'm 80, what's it gonna do for me now? It's gonna make you a hell of a lot better tomorrow than it is today. I guarantee it. If you start lifting now, you're gonna feel better tomorrow. You're gonna be more capable tomorrow. Every day from here on forward, you're gonna be a little bit better than if you are today and you just continue to do nothing, okay? Don't know if I'm articulating that as well as I should. I got scrambled, right? But you're getting my point. It's never too late. Resistance training, in my opinion, is that linchpin that kind of holds everything together in terms of success and how great can all of this get, right? How successful can I be? Well, if I'm strong and whatever else I'm pursuing, I want to be strong and I want to look better with my clothes off. I want to be strong and I want to perform better. I want to be strong and I want to feel better, right? I want to be strong and be able to go on these vacations and do those things. Strong is the foundation to being so much more successful at any of those. If you're strong and whatever else you're pursuing, you'll get there a hell of a lot quicker than if you're not strong in attempting to do so. So this time in life, this is the turning point, in my opinion. Late 40s, early 50s, okay? You're gonna make a significant effort now to improve the rest of your life. And I'll show you some of these articles that are gonna support that, okay? This is the time, this is the now. 60s to 70s, okay? Now we're into walking, football, and netball. Okay, between the ages of 65 and 74, sedentary time in men and women increases by 10 hours a day. Oh my goodness, or more, okay? Now, what they start to suggest in this is walking football, which is basically walking soccer. Okay, I did a little highlight on that in my last video in number 14. If you didn't get to see that, I have a little talk about it in there. Basically, they play soccer on a short field and they can't run. They just walk everywhere. It looks super fun, okay? And then netball is another variation of like a higher level of ping pong, okay? Similar to pickleball, and some of the other kind of net games right now. There's another version of netball, if I'm remembering correctly, where you can only use your feet and you're like kicking the ball back over. I don't think that's the one they're referring to here. The thing that I don't like about this, how it ends, is as you get older, they're basically encouraging you to just like try to be more active and just go out for walks. And really, if you lose your strength here, and you see this, like if you lose your strength to get out of a chair or climb stairs, you're ultimately going to lose your ability to be independent, right? So why would you not constantly encourage everybody along the entire line of this to lift weights, lift weight, lift weight, lift weight, like resistance train all the time, okay? Because that's going to keep you capable in doing all of these things. Now, I do have a little tiny bit of a reputation of like, Rob just says you have to lift all the time. You don't have to do all these other things. We do mobility, we do balance, we do coordination. I have plenty of yoga moves built into our mobility routines. We train everything. I want people to be conditioned. I want them to be able to, have good posture and work on their correctives. We train all that stuff. We work on their breathing. We do all those things. But what is the root? What is the center? What is the foundation of all of that to be successful? As I'm saying, it's strength. How do you get strong? Resistance training. Okay? I bash this to death in every video, and I think you get it. We will continue. Okay? So all the way up into the 80s, there you go. There are your suggestions for some different things. Now, can you start playing netball at 20? Absolutely. Can you go for walks and do yoga at 80? Absolutely. It's open. It's across the board. It's whatever you're interested in. I thought it was a fun article in that it tries to bring some suggestions, right, on what people can do. The average individual, if you're just starting for the first time. So I actually really liked that article. I thought it was great to bring some insight to this, but you know me, I like to nitpick everything. Okay, let's look at some of the studies, okay? Some of these studies. Study finds seniors over 85 who exercise score higher on cognitive tests, okay? So they found seniors 85 to 99 years old who regularly exercise, aerobically and strength train, that they scored higher on cognitive tests than those who were sedentary. Okay, so and or limit their exercise only to cardio. So that was the component to this where the resistance training group actually had higher scores than people that were either completely sedentary or just did cardio, right? My boy Ryan Glatt, he talks about this all the time. Ryan is a huge fan, and I'm a big fan of Ryan, number one, but with brain health. But the key thing that he talks about is anybody aging such, resistance training should be absolutely included in their prescription for how to get better or how to improve. It's resistance training and blah, 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 right? Whatever it is. And I feel like doctors should be the same way. They're like, hey, you have been diagnosed with chronic migraines. Here's your exercise, or here's your prescriptions to get better. I've given you medication, and I've given you a elixir that you need to drink that'll help you hulk out and help your head. And then I'm going to give you 4 hours of exercise per week prescribed, right? Like if we would actually do that, where they're like, here's your new thyroid medicine and 5 days a week of walking and 2 days a week of resistance training. If they would do that, right? If every doctor had to be a certified personal trainer, holy cow. Holy cow, I think we would fix all the world's obesity and health issues. Maybe not all, but we'd have a significant improvement. Imagine, I'm joking, of course, but not really. I think if they actually did that, but would that ever happen? No. But think about if every doctor said more than, you should exercise. If they actually prescribed, hey, weights twice a week. You have osteoporosis, weights 3 times a week minimum. Okay, do that for 2 or 3 months and then bump it up to 4 days a week. Okay, you try an upper body, lower body split if you're going to go 4 days a week. Tear downs and some trisets, all that kind of. Imagine if they actually knew what they were talking about a little bit and could prescribe some of these things to people. Man, you'd make huge impacts with folks. How much health and fitness training do they get? How much nutrition information do they get? Either zero or not a whole lot, okay? Most of the time, sorry if you hear my kids screaming, most of the time it's not a whole lot, okay? And or zero. All right, so I thought that was pretty cool. This included 184 cognitively healthy participants who self-reported, okay, all their habits as they went through. You can read a little bit more about that one if you want to. Nearly 70% of the participants reported engaging in at least some sort of physical activity, a percentage that exceeded the researchers' expectations. Okay, pretty cool. So simply by being involved in the study, people got more active. That's badass. All right, here's one from January 2021. I think I said earlier they were all from this year. A weird thing in my brain is like, there's my life before March 2020 and my life after March 2020. Like that COVID break right there, that month has life like before COVID and after COVID. And for some reason, everything from March 20 on is just like, it's been one big year. I still think of like June 2021, part of this year. It's just, oh yeah, that was after the shutdown, right? So anyhow, sorry on that. Okay, key takeaways on this one. Experts say older adults should engage in moderate exercise and strength training each week. However, less than 1/3 meet this recommendation. I'm going to show you some stats from the CDC here in a minute, that what they suggest and how many people are actually doing it. Okay, the best exercise for seniors to prevent health problems and stay independent are aerobic activity and muscle strengthening. It brings tears to my eyes to see articles suggest this, because for the longest time it was just, eat well, sleep well, go out and be physically active. And what does that mean? And they're like, you could count physically active as vacuuming your house twice a week. And it's like, yeah, I'm glad you're getting in steps, right? But are you actually doing anything to improve your bone density? No. So to see articles like this really helps drive it home, makes me happy. This one's awesome. Older adults who remain more active have a better quality of life. Okay, this one, July 2023. University of Cambridge, okay? A reduction in the amount of time spent physically active when older adults are over the age of 65 is directly linked to a poorer quality of life. A new study of almost 1,500 adults has shown this, okay? Not only were they sedentary, and I think it was like 10 hours a day, I think is what we talked about earlier, right? This one looked at 1,500 older adults And those that were active for 75 minutes, multiple times a week, let's see, where is it? They reduced their risk and number of disease, included heart disease, stroke, diabetes, cancer. Recommend 150 minutes of moderate intensity or activity or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity activity in each week. Older adults are also recommended to break up prolonged periods of being sedentary with light activity when physically possible. That means don't sit and watch TV or binge TV for 10 to 12 hours every day and then go, hey, I don't sleep very well at night. Big shocker, your body went from dormant to slightly dormant back to dormant. When did you ever do anything to stimulate your body to make it go, I'm tired, I need to go to bed? You went from, I'm in a coma, to I'm just cognitively enough out of a coma to I'm back into a coma. That's what you're doing every day if you don't do anything other than wake up, watch TV, eat, go to the bathroom, repeat. Right? That action over and over and over again, you never have a stimulus to your body that makes your body go, I'm tired. I didn't do anything to challenge my body to make my body say, I'm tired and I need to sit down and I need to rest. So why at one point, just because it's dark outside, would your body go, well, let's shut it down and recover really efficiently, really deeply. Let's sleep great like a baby, okay? Let's sleep like that because you did so much in the day to require that demand of sleep. Now you're gonna get it. When really all you did was just stay awake long enough to watch a show, and then you're gonna try to go back to sleep again. So then what happens? We start to introduce all kinds of other pills and medications to try to help people sleep. And what all those pills and medications comes with? They all come with side effects. So we start giving them medications to address all the side effects. And what do those side effects do? They don't help them sleep very well, do they? And so now it's this vicious cycle of never sleeping and never being tired and your bones getting soft and your heart getting weakened because you keep taking medications that are slowing down your heart rate to help you sleep, and you die. Okay? That's how this whole thing happens. That's why people need to get off their butts, stop watching television for so long, and get outside and start being active. Okay? My mom, believe it or not, takes her little walker and goes outside every couple of hours and does laps around my sister's driveway just to get herself up and moving and walking around. Now, is she lifting weights? Not yet. I'm hoping someday that she will, but she is at least getting up and breaking up her periods of sitting and watching television or sitting and crocheting and anything else that she's doing at home. She's getting herself up and moving around, increasing blood flow, increasing oxygenation, getting herself a little tired. So when the time comes to go to sleep, she actually has a demand to go to sleep. Okay, that was a long tirade, but I think it was a well-deserved one. Okay, a couple others here. Factors that influence older adults' participation in physical activity. A systematic review of qualitative studies. They looked at 30, how many? Let me see. They looked at, where is it? There's a number, I'm just gonna read it. Okay, despite the advantages of physical activity, PA, older adults are often insufficiently active to maximize health. Okay, so what this looked at was they searched through 6 electronic databases and studied community-dwelling older adults, 70 or older, including qualitative methods. And these studies looked at individuals that didn't have disease, etc., nothing else. And that went down to like, where is it? Like 32 themes. Okay, there it is. 32 different ones were identified. And basic finding and results from that, they found that older adult capability was influenced by functional capacity, strength, and perceived risk of injury from physical activity, falls. Basically, those that were stronger had a less likely potential to fall down and get hurt. Those that were more physically active on a regular daily basis had better cognitive stimulus and had less negative thoughts, less depression, less disease, less any other thing that was going to negatively affect their lives. So basically, this was a funnel down of all the previous articles I've shown you, right, in this one, plus a whole bunch of others that said, by introducing resistance training specifically and being physically active on multiple days of the week, you're going to improve quality of life, decrease your depression, decrease your body fat, increase bone density, increase muscle mass. Basically, all the things that are going to help you live longer and better and happier and healthier are all going to come to fruition through your hard work, but resistance training being at the center of all of that. How many articles, how many things do we need to put together to show people? There's a ton of them out there, but one particular thing, what I really like that they mentioned in this is by talking to older adults and saying, here are all the benefits of how this is going to make you better, that was more beneficial and more encouraging to actually win them over to the idea of, I'm going to go try to be physically active now, versus looking at all the negatives and saying, you're going to have pain, you're in pain, you can't get out of pain, you're going to be miserable, you're going to be depressed. When they looked at all the negatives and told people about that, it was less encouraging for them than when they highlighted all the positives. One more time showing us that people want to move towards the light, towards the positive, towards the energy that they feel like is going to make them happier, healthier, bring more pleasure, more value, more benefit, more quality to life, right? So highlight all the goods. Here's all the great things that can happen. On the other side of it, here's some negative things that can happen. It's part of education, but where do I really want to spend a lot of my time? Here. Let's look at all the great things that can happen, okay? But again, there's a process specifically across the board with all different people, understanding their personal mindsets, how they learn, what they connect to, what they find valuable. If you present all of this, hopefully one of these is going to connect with them and go, okay, now I'm motivated. Now I see the light. Now I'm pumped up, and now I want to go in that direction, okay? All right, last couple ones here. How much physical activity do older adults need? This is direct from the CDC's page. This is as of today. So at least 150 minutes a week, okay? So for example, 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Cool. Moderate intensity and activity, such as brisk walking, or they need to do 75 minutes of vigorous activity. So I think those are the same numbers we saw in that other article, okay? Such as hiking, jogging, or running. And, not and or, and at least 2 days a week of strengthening muscles. Resistance training is how I am interpreting that statement, right? It used to be and or, you could do some strength training. Now it's at least 2 days a week of resistance training, of strength training for your muscles, okay? And then, of course, improving your balance, such as standing on one foot. Come on, CDC, you're better than that. As I've said many times, what does standing on one foot make you better at? Standing on one foot. Tell me the last time that you fell because you were practicing standing on one foot. Most of the time you were walking, carrying things, walking up and down hill on loose gravel or ice, carrying things forward or back that were heavy and uneven, chasing grandkids, tripping over furniture, dog takes out you at the knees. At no point did I say, let me stand on one foot and see how long I can balance here, and then I fell down and hurt myself. Can't say that I've ever seen an example of that, okay? So balancing on one foot gets you better at balancing on one foot. If you want to learn how to stay on your feet and not fall down, get some good resistance training and learn how to do so in multiple different movement patterns. That will help you with your ground reaction on the floor, help you increase your gait, increase the length and the ability to move your feet in multiple directions and keep a heavy center of mass and lower your body and move it quickly when the moment comes. All right, and then this one just kind of gave some examples of all those, but notice all the examples, strength training, strength training, strength training. I love it, okay? They incorporate that in every little bit of it, okay? Legs and hips and back and abdomen and chest and arms. Great job, CDC. Great job. I'm proud of you. Very happy that all that great information is out there. Okay, so this last week, the last couple of weeks, I've had the opportunities. I'm actually coming up to my third weekend in a row of teaching Fit Body Forever. So this last weekend I was in Kentucky and with my friend Steve Long. He has a great team, an awesome group of people. I had such a good time with these folks. So just want to show a couple of pictures with everybody. I got to meet Judy, who's one of our longtime fans of TOA, just recently signed up for our online program and is going to be virtually joining us for our live workshop in November. She's working towards becoming an ambassador as well. Awesome gym, great people. I've never felt more like a celebrity in my life. Not that I have any celebrity status. I walked into this gym and everybody knew my name. I felt like I was walking into Cheers. Everybody, hey, Rob. It was really cool. It made the trip very, very special. I had such a good time and I love this sign. You can have results or you can have excuses. You just can't have both. I thought that was pretty great. So really, really cool trip to Kentucky. I had a great time. I was in Los Angeles the week before teaching down there, and now this weekend we're doing a virtual training. So luckily I don't have to travel anywhere. I'll be teaching Fit Body Forever virtually right here in-house with a couple of different locations across the US and North America. And then 1 month from today, or pretty damn close to it, I will be up in Canada, just north of Detroit, south of Calgary, right around in that area somewhere. I will be up there with 3 different Fit Body Forever locations and Fit Body boot camps, and working with their team and bringing our TOA in-house program to them. So very excited, wanted to share all that with you. Setting up our 2024 calendar. If anybody has any interest in us coming out, working at your facility, working with your staff. And again, you don't have to be a Fit Body Forever. It's just somebody that we do happen to work with on a regular basis. Independent gyms, private gyms, we work with everybody. If you're working with older adults and you need education and help, we're the team for it. We can help you out. Head over to trainingtheolderadult.com and check it out. Much love and appreciation to all of you. I hope you enjoyed today. Sorry for the stammering and the rambling as we went through. I was frantic to try to get all this together. Was I going to have enough? Was I going to do too much? We're right on our 30-minute window, so apologies if I was a little over ramped up. Always get excited to get on here and chat with all of you. It's therapy for me, and I hope you get some good education, some entertainment, and have some fun at the same time. Much love and appreciation, and until next time, continue to fight your good fight against sarcopenia. We'll see you next time. Peace.